Abstract Cafe, where ideas they thrive, thought find out, and every conversation explores the art of thinking beyond the obvious. And today I have my special guest. One of her advocacy leaders are made learn to be great one. None other than Miss Maggie Perotin.
Thank you for having me, Daniel. I'm happy to be here.
Welcome, welcome, Miss Maggie on Abstract Cafe. Can you please introduce more about yourself that I missed?
Yeah, thank you. My name is Maggie Perotin. I'm the owner of Stairway to Leadership. I'm a business and leadership coach. I work with service-based entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, business owners with teams and help them grow and scale their business in a way that's sustainable, that doesn't burn them out, and that builds an asset that potentially they could sell down the line if they want to. I'm based in Canada, in Greater Toronto area. I'm a mom with kids at home, love traveling, nature, good food. That's me.
Yes, I like that too. Good food, traveling, and many more. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Miss Maggie. So today, let's talk about online marketing and branding for service solopreneurs. So let's start for a solopreneur. Your personal energy and brand are inseparable. How do you navigate the vulnerability of putting yourself so visibly at the center of the marketing, and what boundaries do you set to protect your well-being?
So I definitely can relate or understand also how sometimes when you're a solopreneur, and especially as you said, when you're a service provider and you're the brand, right? And you're the one you market your excellence, your services, how it can be difficult to say, oh, I don't want to put all my life out there, right? Especially when you're an introvert, which I am definitely introverted. So, how do I set the boundaries and how do I, make sure that, yes, I put myself out there, but also protect my energy and not burn out? There's a few things. One is really being clear of what is it important for my clients that would help them out of my story and me being authentic, that brings value to them, right? They don't necessarily need to know every single detail of my life, and it's my choice if I don't want to share it, but there's parts of my story as a service provider or my personal story. If, let's say, I help my clients with something that I help myself, right? I have clients who are maybe health coaches and they've been through a health journey that helped them get better, and now they're helping their clients with a similar thing, right? So those are the parts of our own stories that we can share. And also you can build, I would say, the emotional capacity but also courage to share more and more gradually. So in the beginning, let's say if you're a solopreneur that's starting and you're like, I'm scared even to share anything, start with one little thing that you think your client would appreciate, that what you think would maybe empower your ideal client to take one step or one thing on the journey to whatever you're helping them with, and then go from there. Because what I've noticed in my own journey and the clients that I coach is, once you start and you do one step at a time, you get used to sharing parts of your story, sharing parts of, what you do, and then you're willing to share more. Okay? So that's like one thing. And then the other thing is definitely um not thinking that you need to be online 24/7 or that you have to share everything. You get to decide, and you also should take time, to a break time to spend with your loved ones, to fill your own cup outside of just, marketing your business, putting yourself out there, serving your clients. So having certain good habits, I'm a big proponent of good habits, helps with that.
Definitely, indeed, Miss Maggie. Strategy can be feel abstract when you're doing everything yourself. What is your the one core strategy filter? A key question you ask yourself before committing time to any marketing tactic or platform.
So my filter, one question that I ask myself is that is marketing platform, first of all, I don't know if there's one question, but is this aligned with my goals? Okay. And my goals are, let's say I want to grow my business, I want to attract these type of clients, I want to make this type of income, I want to, expand my services, whatever they are, right? So if, for example, I know who my ideal client is and the way I would like to attract them, then you can say, okay, if there is a platform or some opportunity that I have in front of me, but it's not really my ideal clients are not there, or, my ideal clients don't look for help there, then that might be a no, right? But then if there's a strategy that, hey, my ideal clients love hanging out there, they're looking for the information, they're looking for advice out there, and I'm also willing to learn that platform or that strategy, then it's a yes. So one simple question would be, does this align with my goals? Of course, under the foundation or under the pretend that you know your goals, that you set them and you're very clear on them. I think you're
Yes,
muted.
indeed. Yes, indeed. You set your goals for sure. Service solopreneurs often struggle with pricing and positioning. How do you use your online presence and content to pre-frame your value so that when you state your price, it feels like a natural reflection of your worth, not shocking number?
So, with the pricing, the first thing I always think when I create my services is, what is it that particular service accomplish, in a sense? What type of result am I creating for my client, right? And given that result, there's a certain input that needs to go, that service needs to be structured a certain way for me to ensure that the client has the result, right? And then, so once I'm clear on that, so I don't create offers and I never coach my clients to create, oh, let's just create an offer that we think people will buy for the price that I think people will buy. I always think, no, you have to understand your ideal client's needs, right? And your ideal client's desires and challenges. And then what do you need to do to serve them and help them overcome those challenges and, you know, give them what they want. And once you determine, and then from your expertise as a service provider, you develop that service. And then from that, given now that you understand the value and so on, you determine a price. Now, price, depending on where you are in your journey, let's say you're just beginning, right? And you've never priced anything, you're just starting. I always say, look at, okay, what is it that you want to be paid minimum? That below that price, you wouldn't be want to do the work because you think it wouldn't be worth it for you. You would feel resentful to even deliver the service because you wouldn't feel like you're paid well. Determine that first and look at the market, right? What is the market telling you? You don't want to be the cheapest person ever, but maybe if you're just starting, you don't want to be the most expensive either, because you might not have the social proof and, yet, and enough results in the clients to justify like the highest price out there in the market. You want to be somewhere in the middle, right? Given your expertise and so on. And then as you grow and as you gain more demand and you help more clients and the pure economical demand and supply, you may start thinking about raising your prices. I was just coaching a client on that, on raising her prices, because pricing can be a way to filter your ideal clients as well, right? So my client that I was coaching today got to the point where she is busy, filled with her ideal clients. More work is coming. Of course, we talked about some hiring and getting some help, but she's in the position when she can comfortably raise her prices because she has more demand than, availability, right? So you can do that gradually as you go.
Miss Maggie, let's talk about the clarity and the magnetic message. A huge challenge is cutting through noise without a big budget. What is your process for distilling a complex service into a single, crystal clear, or client focused promise that you can communicate in one sentence?
The process is, so if the client focused promise, you need to understand what does your client want? What is their biggest challenge right now that they're struggling with? And not because, our clients have multiple challenges. We all have them, right? But what is the most painful one that they're willing to take action right now, and they will do anything possible to get rid of that challenge, and what is it that they want at the end of it, right? So once you know that, create a promise to deliver that in a way that's unique to you. So, for example, in my case, I'm very passionate about high performance habits and doing things sustainably and not hustling to the point when you're burning out, when you're overworking because you don't manage your time well, or you don't have skill set and everything is slowing you down, and therefore you're working more than needed, you're frustrated, you're burning out, and so on, right? So part of my promise is scale sustainably and without overwhelm, because I burned out in my corporate world. I got out of it. I know now how to implement certain ways we operate, like implement high performance habits in my life to really be very effective with my time, prioritize really well, and so on. And I teach that to my clients, right? So outside of just promising what they want, is your part of your promise is like how you get there. That's very unique to you.
Hmm,
But the promise
certainly.
has to be founded on the burning desire and the burning challenge of your market, of your ideal client.
Yes, burning desire. I like that. The more you have this sensation, the more you are willing to do it.
Yeah.
Consistency, content, and connection, the authentic engine, Miss Maggie. Content creation as a solopreneur can be exhausting. What is your framework for creating one piece of appealer content that you can then repurpose and
Mhm.
automate across multiple channels efficiently?
Yeah, definitely. So in this case, you want to have, as you said, maybe one longer piece of content a week that then you can repurpose and so on. And I always say pick what you love to do. Again, just coached a client today who loves to write and write stories, right? So for her, a very natural and relatively easy way to create would be a blog. If you love to write and love to write stories, you can create a one longer blog and then cut that up into multiple posts, whether one of them could be a reel or a video, one of them could be a carousel post, one of them could be a picture with the format, right? With AI lately, it's very easy to do and very
Mm-hmm.
fast. You can save a lot of time while still maintaining your voice, right? And your ideas, because you created the blog, you wrote the blog. If writing is not your thing and you prefer speaking, you can do a podcast just like we are doing right now, right? Or you can do one longer video and you can put a training up that is, free and valuable, and you can record it and chop that up, right? So there's multiple options. The way I think about it, you want to lean onto your strengths and what you like to do, because when you like it and you're strong at it, it's much you're much more likely to do it on a regular basis, to do it consistently, and then, you know, use it. The whole thing about content creation is consistency. So if we're doing something we hate and we have all the thoughts, all the wrong thoughts about it, we're not gonna stick with it.
Definitely. Stick with it. I think that's the real thing to do if you're having these, well, intensify to do a business as solopreneurs. And Ms. Maggie, how do you balance showcasing your expertise and results with demonstrating your empathy and process in your content so they attract clients who trust both your skill and your approach?
How do I balance that? I guess it's a combination. It's having a combination or a strategy of combination of posts and content where, you know, some of my content talks about my client stories. So whether it's me interviewing the client or me sharing a testimonial or me sharing a case study of the client, some of the content. Um, where I just talk about an area of expertise that I coach my clients in, right? So whether it's marketing or sales or operations, whatever it is. So that. And then, you know, my process, I talk a little bit about it, but ultimately, I don't spend too much time talking about the process and how exactly is my services are tailored to the client. So I dive deeper into the exact process, how I would help my clients during a strategical or free consultation that potential clients have with me. I do have a bit of description of my process. Like if you look at my website, there's a private coaching and there's a diamond effect group that those two offers have a certain process where, you know, it's explained high level on the website, and sometimes I incorporate that into my social media. Um, but most of my content is really about providing value, showcasing my expertise, and then showing, you know, the results that my clients get in one way or the other.
Miss Maggie, let's talk about the sales and psychology closing as service. The sales call can feel intensely personal. How have you refrained the sales conversation from a pitch to a mutual discovery session? And what are the 1 to 2 key questions you are always asked to make it feel that way?
So my, you know, discovery or sales call is definitely not a pitch. Like I don't start my call, and I don't recommend anybody did that with like pitching my services, right? The true value of the call is for you to identify your client's needs and what, again, what are their challenges that they're struggling with that they want to solve, what are the desires that they have on the other side of those challenges. And that requires diving deep and asking a bunch of questions. So there's not one or two or three questions that you have. Yeah, I actually ask a lot of questions. And only then at the end, it allows me to determine root cause of the challenges for my clients, tell them those root causes. Okay, this is what is causing the issues you have, and this is how I think we would, and this is how we would go about it. Let's say if you worked with me, and if you're okay, and if you like that, and you want to do it, then I make an offer if the client agrees. Okay, so like it's at the very, very end that it's happening. But I guess if I was to ask three general buckets that you want to always determine during your sales call is you want to understand where your clients is right now. So what is their current situation? What do they like about it? What do they don't like about it? Okay. The second bucket would be what do they want? So where do they want to be? Clearly they're there talking to me or somebody else because they want a change, right? If everything was great and they didn't have any challenges they would like to solve, they wouldn't be at the call. So where is it that they want to be? And then the third part is you want to understand why they want it, how important it is for them. Is it truly that burning desire to change, or is it a nice to have and something number 99 on the list of many things that they want. So those are the three things you want to determine, and that usually takes more than a couple questions.
Definitely. So, Miss Maggie, how do you ethically use your online content and storytelling to pre-solve objections about the price, timeline, or process so they rarely even come up with a sales conversation?
Yeah, so usually, you think about what are the questions that are potential clients asking me, right? Whether they're during the consultations or whether during the conversation I have, and you can answer those questions on the in your content. Because if one person has those questions more, I always say if one person has a question or has a challenge, there's more people like them with the similar questions in the challenge, right? So whether they're asking about, okay, well, how long is the commitment, or how often are the calls, how long are the calls, or whatever it might be, then um, that is on the website or occasionally in my social media posts.
Mm, definitely. So, Miss Maggie, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, because my Abstract Essay is already in sixth season, Abstract Poetry in third season, and my book 101 Review in sixth season as well, Comedy 101 third season, and my Food 101 in sixth season too, Geography 101 Love Letters, movie 101 review, music 101 are in fifth season, science 101, sex 101 fourth season, and my BB podcast, spiritual awakening 101, trivia 101, law 101, mental health 101, motivation 101, and entrepreneurship 101, of course, my Bible verses 101. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Miss Maggie, for the overwhelmed solopreneur who is great at their service but hates marketing, what is the single most impactful place for them to focus the energy for the next 90 days?
Okay, so the first thing what I'm gonna say, people who hate or fear marketing, I always say we fear what we don't understand. Okay, so if you've never done marketing and you had never had to do it, and you probably don't understand in depth what it is about and so on, you fear it, and that's okay, that's normal. But when you actually make a bit of an effort and take steps to acquire the marketing skill. It's a skill set, just like you acquired a skill in your service, however, you help your clients that in the beginning you didn't have, right? Whether it was professional organizing, coaching, or design, whatever it was, you learned that skill set, you weren't born with it. Marketing is the same. And when you understand it, then and you practice the skill, because understanding doesn't mean we have a skill, right? Knowing something in theory doesn't allow us yet, like it's not, doesn't mean we know it, but we have the skill. But when you start practicing, once we get better at something, we start liking it, right? We might not like when we're learning how to swim in the beginning, it's hard, we're not really good at it, we might not like it. But if we keep practicing and get better at swimming, now we're enjoying water and swimming. So it's the same with marketing. uh, Learn the skill, don't just chase strategies and tactics and repeat without understanding why they're done this way and what they're meant to do. Understand them. Okay, so whatever strategy you choose for the 90 days, focus on understanding that strategy. Why is it this way? How is that? Is it aligned with my ideal clients? Understand your ideal clients. That's the first thing. Like if you don't know anything, know your ideal clients inside out, sit in their head. And if you do that and then you learn how to communicate that, you'll already have great results.
Well, Miss Maggie, thank you for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your business, your advocacy, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Yeah, so I also have a podcast. It's called Diamond Effect. It's available on all podcasting platforms, including YouTube. So let's check it out.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Maggie Perotin because if you support her, for sure, more and more empowering advocacy like this to rise. So I have one more question, Miss Maggie. Looking back, what is the one marketing tactic you reinvested significant time in that, in the hindsight, was a distraction from your core engine, and how did you realize it?
Uh, One marketing tactic that was a distraction. Let me just, I would say, like, just the first, for the sake of time, the first thing that comes to me, I definitely, in the beginning, I overdid networking. as a introvert, it drained me pretty fast going to so many networking events every week and so on. And I realized that, there were meetings that I would sometimes go and I wasn't myself. I couldn't be myself because I was already tired and drained. And that wasn't serving me at all, right? So realizing that it's better to go to less meetings and figure out really the groups that resonate with me, where I can be fully myself and make connections and so on. And having less of that is better than the quantity of it, and half of it I'm not really myself, and therefore I'm not getting results that I want because I'm drained, or maybe they're wrong groups for me, right, for different reasons. So that's definitely, I learned that early in my business.
Miss Maggie Perotin, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you for having me, and thank you everybody for listening and watching.
Modcom people, see you soon.